Sticking with that New Year theme, it's the return of New Year's resolutions. Every year, an estimated half of people make some sort of commitment to change at the beginning of a new calendar year. And this year, a survey from data company Numerator said that about half of those resolutions are going to be related to how you spend money. But you probably know most resolutions don't last too long. Forbes says about 80% of them are ditched by February. But maybe the problem isn't us. Maybe it's what we vowed to do. Maybe it's the way we set the intention. Do we set something that's important to us? Do our goals align with our values in this? Heidi talked to a U of M professor who was hoping to get more people asking those kinds of questions. Hey, Heidi.
Yeah, that's right, Jana. I spoke to Professor Valerie Tiberius, who is coming out with a book next week. It's called What Do You Want Out of Life? It's a big question, but she's broken it down into simple strategies to help others make sense of what truly matters to them. A new year means new resolutions, but maybe you need a new approach.
My own view about what it is to live a good life is to live a life that's in accord with your most important values. And I think when we live, we kind of get out of whack with those values. So we get distracted by trivial things and we put the important things on hold and we hope to come back to them. And it's good to have that moment when you can actually look at your life and think, well, how much am I actually aligned with what I actually care about?
Valerie Tiberius is a professor of philosophy at the University of Minnesota and the author of What Do You Want Out of Life? A philosophical guide to figuring out what matters.
So if you think about resolutions as, if you want to know, well, what kinds of resolutions should you have? What should you resolve to do in the new year? I would say you should do things that align with your central core values.
Valerie's book includes 5 strategies to help you figure out those most important values. One of those, the lab rat strategy.
We have a lot of stories we tell about ourselves that are flattering and that don't always match who we are at a deeper level. So I think it can be helpful to think about yourself as another person would think about you. Like if you were a scientist observing yourself, or even if you were your friend observing you. You can't always see how you feel about things. If all you do is think and introspect, you might miss what's actually bringing you joy in life and what's actually boring the crap out of you or making you miserable day after day, because we tend to deceive ourselves about those sorts of things. So sometimes it takes another person to point that out, but we can also try to take that other person point of view on ourselves.
Once we know our values, they can serve as touchstones to guide how we live our lives. That's where New Year's resolutions come in.
You might come up with resolutions that just don't really fit you very well. So it's worth thinking about, what are the things you really care the most about and how can you translate those into specific goals? I do think it's worth thinking about that.
Now, Valerie says a new year is a good time to check in with yourself as priorities can shift as you go through different stages of life. You can check out Valerie's book when it's released next Tuesday, Jana.
Well, Heidi, you and I sit right next to each other in the newsroom. We talk about this all the time. So on the spot, what's your resolution if you have an easy one?
I told you, you saw me. I've been drinking water, but I will say after talking to Valerie, I'm going to reassess and kind of look, deeper within about some New Year's resolutions I want to do.
I'm so proud of you for drinking water. I know that's a big step for you. That's a big step.
What about you?
Oh, sorry, we're out of time, Heidi. We just don't have time to get to all the. I just did that lab rat thing on myself for 2 minutes and I'm terrible. I got a lot to work on. Thanks, Heidi.